Welcome to the Solimi Dreams channel. Gently turn off the lights in your room, slip on your headphones or set the volume just right and close your eyes. I hope sleep finds you peacefully, perhaps even before the story comes to an end. So now, without delay, let me softly begin tonight's story. SCP-1382. Beneath the black waves, the fog clung to the waves like cold hands, wrapping the ocean in a shroud of pale gray. Lieutenant Emma Rousseau stood at the bow of the small Foundation vessel, staring ahead into the mist. Somewhere out there, hidden in the gloom, was SCP-1382, a lighthouse that should not exist. Officially, no such lighthouse was ever built. Maritime records showed no construction, no permits, no purpose. Yet there it stood alone on a craggy reef miles off the coast, its rusted beacon sweeping the endless sea. The problem wasn't just that the lighthouse was there. It was what the lighthouse did. Distress signals. Every night it broadcasted them. Desperate radio calls, voices of drowning sailors, weeping mothers, begging children. But when Foundation teams triangulated the sources, they always led back to the same place. SCP-1382 itself. No survivors, no wreckage, just the voice of the lighthouse, whispering its false alarms into the dark. Emma adjusted her earpiece as the rest of her team, Agent McCarthy, Dr. J, and tech specialist Keller, prepared on deck. They were to approach, assess any anomalous activity, and install a new remote monitoring unit. Simple on paper, yet Emma's stomach churned. The fog thickened as they neared the reef. The lighthouse loomed ahead, a skeletal tower of rust and broken metal, its beacon flickering in slow, sickly sweeps. Its black silhouette twisted in the mist, looking less like a building and more like some ancient, corroded bone rising from the sea. Anchoring here, McCarthy called, his voice tight. The boat rocked as they dropped anchor. Waves lapped hungrily at the hull, slapping and sucking at the wood as if eager to pull them under. Emma jumped onto the rocky outcrop, landing hard on slick, seaweed-covered stone. She slipped, catching herself against a jagged rock. The lighthouse door creaked open in the wind, gaping like a blackened mouth. "Let's move," she ordered. The team ascended the narrow path, boots slipping on wet stone. The air smelled of salt and rot. Gulls circled overhead, their cries strangely muted, muffled by the thick fog. Inside the lighthouse was worse. Rust coated every surface, flaking in sharp, blood-red shards. Water dripped steadily from unseen cracks, running in thin rivulets down the walls. The air was damp, rank with mildew and something darker, a metallic tang like old blood. Keller set up the monitor at the base while Dr. J examined the walls. McCarthy stayed at Emma's side, weapon drawn. Suddenly, the radio crackled. "Help! Please, God, help us!" Emma froze. That voice, it was a child's voice, thin and trembling, cutting through the static. "Repeat," she said sharply. "Who's transmitting?" "They're coming. Under the waves. Help." The team exchanged uneasy glances. Dr. J's brow furrowed. "That's not possible. There are no active transmissions within range." The voice on the radio rose to a shriek, distorted and shrill. "Help us! They're here." Then, silence. A sudden impact shook the tower. The floor quaked beneath their feet. Dust rained from the ceiling. Emma stumbled, heart pounding. "What the hell was that?" McCarthy barked. Keller paled, staring at his monitor. Something hit the reef. Emma moved to the nearest window, peering out. The fog was thick, but through it she glimpsed shapes, figures in the water. They floated just beneath the surface, pale, limp, lifeless. Dozens of them, faces turned upward in frozen screams. She recoiled. Jesus! The beacon above flickered. Once, twice. Then it went out. Darkness swallowed the tower. Keller swore, fumbling with his gear. Dr. J switched on a flashlight, its narrow beam cutting through the gloom. Emma raised her radio. "Command, this is Rousseau. We have multiple anomalous readings. Request immediate evac." Static. Then, faintly, a voice. Not from command, but from the lighthouse radio. "You shouldn't have come." Emma's blood ran cold. Suddenly, the walls began to pulse. The rusted metal shifted, as if breathing, exhaling warm, fetid air. Shadows twisted along the corridors, crawling up the walls like black vines. McCarthy swung his light wildly. Contact! Rear! Figures emerged from the far end of the corridor, pale, waterlogged bodies, their eyes wide and unseeing, mouths stretched open in eternal soundless screams. Their movements were jerky, unnatural, as if pulled on invisible strings. Emma fired. Bullets tore through them, splattering wet, blackened matter, but the figures kept coming. Keller screamed as one lunged, skeletal fingers wrapping around his throat. McCarthy tackled it, slamming it against the wall, but more emerged, their wet footsteps slapping against the metal floor. "Fall back!" Emma shouted. They ran, racing up the spiral stairs. The tower groaned, shuddering under the weight of something massive moving beneath it. Through the windows, the ocean roiled. Not waves, but shapes. Dozens, maybe hundreds, circling below. At the top, the lantern room waited, empty and broken. Emma slammed the door shut, barricading it with anything she could find. Dr. J huddled beside her, gasping for breath, his hands shaking. McCarthy stood watch, knuckles white on his rifle. Keller was gone. For a moment there was only the sound of the sea and their ragged breathing. Then, softly, from the shadows, "Why didn't you save us?" Emma's head snapped up. The voice came again from the broken lantern room radio, warped and wet. "Why didn't you help?" McCarthy's eyes darted around. "That's not possible." But it was, because the voice wasn't just on the radio now. It was inside the room. A figure emerged from the dark, a woman, or what was left of one, bloated, pale, her skin peeling away in ribbons. Her eyes were milky, her mouth a ragged hole. She raised one hand dripping with seawater, pointing directly at Emma. "You left us to drown," Emma fired. The bullets passed through, striking only air. The walls shuddered violently. The tower tilted, groaning as if something immense was rising beneath it, wrapping cold, unseen arms around its base. Outside, through the broken glass, Emma saw the ocean part, and within it, a massive eye opened. It was not human. It was not anything she could understand. The sea rushed in, smashing through the windows, dragging them into the black. 2 weeks later, Foundation recovery teams arrived. They found the boat, still anchored, abandoned. They found the monitoring equipment, partially installed. They found the lighthouse, exactly where it had always been. But they found no bodies. Only the radio, still crackling softly, broadcasting faint weeping voices across the empty waves. Final transmission. Please, help. We're still here. Under the waves. Save us. Save our souls. I hope you've already drifted off into a peaceful sleep. If not, I truly hope the upcoming stories on my channel will help you get there. If you enjoyed this one, feel free to subscribe to my channel. I'd be so happy if you liked and shared this video with your friends. It means a lot and gives me the encouragement to keep creating more stories like this.